just in time.
You're listening to Where You Live with Gene Sullivan.
Welcome back to Where You Live. I'm Gene Sullivan, broadcasting from the Natural Green Lawn and Landscape Studios. Brought to you by American Family Insurance, the Kim Bennett Agency, and Extreme Exteriors. You can count on Extreme Exteriors for expert installation of exterior siding, roofing, soffits, fascia, decks, windows, and more. With their knowledge and experience, they can design the perfect solution to make your home beautiful and energy efficient, saving you maintenance and money for years to come. Give them a call, 763-441-1334, and tell them Gene sent you. It's time now to hear from the Community Associations Institute. The CAI Minute is brought to you by New Concepts Rental Management. Whether you're an accidental landlord or a seasoned investor, New Concepts Rental Management can help you achieve your financial goals. New Concepts Rental Management can advise and guide you through every aspect of the business. Give us a call, 952-922-2500.
Are you a volunteer in your homeowner association? Maybe a residential property manager wanting to increase your industry knowledge and obtain professional credentials in property management. Are you a vendor or professional offering services to homeowners and associations or property managers? If you said yes to any one of those questions, then join the Community Association Institute. The CAI is a great organization, helping you be informed and more proficient in your homeowner association board member or property manager role. It's also a great way to network with potential clients. For nearly 40 years, CAI has provided education and resources to volunteer homeowners who govern community associations and the professionals who support them. Visit cai-mn.com to learn more. That's cai-mn.com. The Minnesota chapter of CAI holds monthly managers' luncheons, board member education training, property manager certification training, and much more. It also produces a bi-monthly informative magazine called Minnesota Community Living. Why not join the Community Association Institute today? You can do so online at cai-mn.com and select membership.
Well, it is official, folks. We're just 1 week away from the Minnesota State Fair. Right in between breaks here, I was handed by someone from the station my pass and tickets to get entrance into the fair, because we're going to be live with Where You Live on the Saturdays, the 24th and 31st of August during our regular time at 10 a.m. And then, of course, Monday through Friday, special time, 4 to 5 p.m., Monday through Friday, that week of the fair, the 26th through the 30th, we're going to be broadcasting live with an hour show each and every day. So, by the way, go to our website, www.newconceptsgroup.com, pull down the menu that refers to the radio show, and in a day or two, we're going to have a listing of the guests that we're going to have on the show, the topics that we're going to be discussing. It's going to be live radio instead of pre-recording it like we do here now. So we want to hear from you. We would love to have you participate. Come down and join us. The phone number for the station to give a call will be on there. Everything you need to know. We'd love to hear from you. Well, let's move ahead with our next story here. And I thought it would be interesting. You know, in every single state, there are different requirements for how a person must act within a homeowners association. There are state statutes. In Minnesota, we have what's called MCIWA, the Minnesota Common Interest Community Act. In Florida, they have been involved with HOAs for even longer than Minnesota here. And they have, I guess I don't know that I can necessarily say that they're more progressive in thinking ahead here, but they certainly do have a lot more laws on the books, especially as it pertains to being a board of director on in an HOA. And I don't know if you knew that, but if you're on a board in an HOA here in Minnesota, the requirements, of course, are you need to own a property in an HOA, and you are able to run for the board. And usually most homeowner associations are looking for people who will serve and volunteer to be a board member to help with the operations and the day-to-day decisions that need to be made for the well-keeping and maintenance of the property. Well, in Florida, they have gone, I think, overboard with a few things. There's some things that are a good idea here, and we'll go through it. But here's what's required. If you were living in Florida, here's what would be required of you before you could serve in an HOA board. Number one, of course, it says you need to be a natural person, at least 18 years of age. Do you know what a natural person is, listeners? Natural, it just means that you're not a corporation or entity or a government organization. So you can't be a government organization. You're an individual. I think everybody, I guess, does that also mean the government organization is not natural? Because you're a natural person or you can't be a government organization. Well, I guess there's nothing natural about that. But anyway, you've got to be 18 years of age. That makes sense. You've got to be an adult. Number two, you have to have an acknowledgement of the governing documents and understand that they could go further in the qualifications. A lot of homeowner associations will require that a person keep their monthly assessments up to date if they're going to be able to be on the board, and that makes sense. It says if you are a beneficiary of a trust, you must occupy the home. And I found this really interesting. What is it that they're saying here? Why are they making a big deal about this? What's a beneficiary of a trust? Well, a trust, of course, would be the property is in the trust and not in the individual's name. Beneficiary means that you have a legal right to use and enjoy the home. And if you have if you're a beneficiary, you have control of the property, of the real estate. But they make an interesting statement. They say, you've got to occupy the home. If you're a beneficiary of a trust and it's a rental property, guess what? You can't serve on your board of directors in Florida. No. So they're saying no landlords. Really, when I take a look at the people that are serving on boards in a lot of associations that we manage at New Concepts, some of the best board members that we have are people that are landlords, very conscientious. But anyway, in Florida, you can't be a beneficiary of a trust. I don't know why that's important. Next, you must sign an oath to agree to uphold to the association's governing documents. Now, we don't have that requirement here in Minnesota. As I've thought about it, I think I'm actually okay with that idea. If you stop and think about it, if you're going to serve in government on the federal level, they ask you to take an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States. If you serve on state government, they ask you to do so with the state constitution. So the governing documents are the homeowners association constitution, if you will. So saying that, if you're going to be a board member, you need to sign an oath saying that you're agreeing to uphold that. I think that makes sense because you've made an agreement. You've entered into a contractual private agreement with you and the other homeowners in that association and have said, you know what, we've agreed to the outline of how we're going to interact with one another, of what we can do and can't do, and I'm okay with that. And so I think that certainly makes sense. Next, it says, and this is the part that I think has gone overboard. In Florida, they say they need to attend a course offered by a state-approved educator in learning the fundamentals and skills needed to be an effective board member. So if you're going to be someone who's volunteering on the board, if it's not enough that we're having a hard time finding people to serve on a board, I was with a board the other day this week at New Concepts, I was talking to them, and they're looking for 3 additional board members because they effectively have 2 people that are willing to serve, and they want to have more because they want to know that the actions and the decisions they're making are with the assent of more people who are owners in the association. And they're having a hard time finding someone. Now, think if in Minnesota we had that additional requirement here of saying that it's not enough to say you want to be on the board, and you also have to show that you've gone through a state-approved course, knowing the fundamentals and skills needed to be an effective board member. And the question that came to my mind when I read that was, boy, isn't that interesting that here the Florida legislature is saying, do as I say, not as I do. And I'd like to explain that more, but we're going to take a break right now, and I'll explain this Florida legislature with their do as I say, not as I do attitude after these messages.